Hello, internets. All right. Well, I'm doing another installment in live coding of DrawSlashSmash, and this is, if you have been following the journey at all, you know that we've completed that whole attack cycle: draw, the drawing, the slashing, and the smashing, and we've tested that, and that's fun. But the plan has always been to pack as much as we can into the one button, one joystick thing. And so what we're going to do is we're going to build our first deviation. And this is our first deviation is going to be the dash. And so I've kind of, so let's get into it. Kind of develop the dash as a concept. This is my animation for this little samurai character. Is getting kind of big. This is the charge animation. It's actually got a wind up. Then I have this like little slide where you're kind of sliding, and then you'll go into just this like charge up, and when you let go, you'll go into like this slash. That's what we're building. And much like if you guys have been following along, there is the smash, which is here. What we did for this is we split right here. We sliced these. Pixels here, and we draw this as tall as we need to. So it's pixel perfect. We don't stretch it. It just like it keeps expanding there. And I guess that's a good time to go and actually look at this. It's live. It's running right now. So this is the new walkie animation that's in there, and you go a little slower, and I like it. And when you draw is when you finally like start running. And so this is the smash. You see, it just draws as big as you need it to, and it's kind of like it's the big attack, but you need build up to it. There's also this like little timer here where I can just tap and I don't actually go into the jump, just a slash. And then we're going to build this thing where if you start pulling back in the opposite direction, right now you can change directions when you're in the run. We're going to take that away, and what happens is once you run, you're kind of committed to that direction, but you can pull back on the joystick and you'll actually charge a dash, which kind of gives you this like ability to stop and like charge a little something up. And the trade-off is like the longer you charge it up, the more you'll charge across the screen. So when we look at this smear here, which the big thing about like a lot of the stuff I'm trying to build is it's got to have like a big old white smear to it, and that's going to be your hitbox, and that's always going to like try to describe to you the best as I can that this is how you get attacked when motion is happening. And we will, like we're on the other one, we'll take this like little area here and we'll just slice it out, and we will make it as long as it needs to be. So, and this is going to be it because you will teleport. You can see like this is where your blade will end. So you will teleport. I think you teleport into this like lunge like this. It's not quite lined up. You'll teleport a little further ahead, but you'll teleport to there. So it's going to be just a flash across the screen, and you'll kill anything in your way. So right now I'm just leaning heavily into the juiciest, most ridiculous combat ever. And it's fast. If you go on the Facebook page, you can kind of see, or the Instagram page, you can kind of see us playing it. It's very fast, but we're going to lean into that, and we're going to give you another option to kind of give a stall attack here. That might be kind of interesting. So is this going to be fun? I never know. We just start working towards it and finding out. So I had a little fun today. Had a little fun today building this charge up animation. And maybe there's a way in Sprite to like make this work, but I already have like a whole loop in this because this is a deviation. I don't know how to like jump over. So what I've just been doing is I just play it, and I just started here. I just click into this frame, and it just kind of gives me into that. And I think that gives a pretty good sensation of how it's gonna look when we're going through the actual And I really, it's going to move when you slide. I think that's going to be pretty important to the feel. So that's what that is what we're working with. And let's get into it. All right. The first thing we're going to look at is our sprite sheet. And if you're not familiar with a sprite, every one of these frames gets turned into a very long file, which I probably should have like rows and columns, but I just have one row and a bunch of columns. And we cut those out and we animate them inside of Unity to give us our different states. So we are going to want to take this whole thing here, and it's going to be interesting to see if we can I think these are each going to have to be their own state, because I think I'm going to want to just like move into this somehow. Like this is, I'm not exactly sure how to do like a pickup frame into this. And then we'll do this for as long as we have retain motion, because we'll retain a little motion when we're stopping. We can build that in. And then, yeah, we get this charge loop. So first things first, we got to export these frames. And the way I'm kind of building it is everything here is all usable. Everything past this is all junk that I just keep around because it has like some things I've already built in it. So anyway, these are, and then this smear, these are the new things we're kind of adding to the end of this. This is the end of our whole loop here. So the way we do that, export, repeat last export. This will export that sprite sheet I was talking about. We can jump into Unity here. I can immediately see that error. I got to turn off the background because we don't want the green to exist. And there's a command shortcut for this. I should just learn it and use it. But okay, so yeah, you can. I mean, it's still this is the updated one. It's everything that was working is still working. But we're gonna go in and we're gonna cut out some new stuff. So we get into our sprite editor. This is what I'm talking about. This is that long sprite sheet. A lot of these frames aren't used for various reasons. Like these are just like, I call them escalator frames to get the guy back into position for the loop. But and now like I can't take them out because everything is customly positioned. So this is the process, I guess. So we are gonna kind of cut out these new frames. And it's gonna, let's get in there. We're gonna want to cut it out pretty exactly, and we're gonna want it to be the same for all of these. So like whatever this ends up being, width 22, height 27, we're gonna kind of want that to be the same for all of these, so we can anchor them kind of to the same point. It's always your safest bet. And like you can see, like oh shoot, I don't want to do that. Okay, we'll just say this. We made a new one. Okay. We don't want to make a new one because they're already numbered in order, so we want to kind of use this one that's already here. And what was the height of this one? We said 27. So let's get this to 27. And to get every last dust particle in, we need 35, and this one is 22. So we're gonna widen this out a bit. I don't think this is fully necessary if my anchors are set up correctly, but I'm kind of like doing a different system than I did for Deathball. So I think I'm just going to try to reduce as many variables as possible and just make them the same size. So 35 by 27, 35 by 27, 30. And I guess, like, truthfully, we want like this foot to be the most important part of that, right? Which I'm going to just use that little yellow box to tell me that that's actually where they are the same. Okay. And like this stuff will translate to, because whatever position whatever. You got to remember, like whatever position we're in, as long as it looks right. None of this is the hit box. And as long as we're centered on this guy, the pill will be our hurt box. So if we get hit, we get hit. I think something that I want to eventually do is contact. So if you guys if two opponents create smears at the same time, then I am not sharing my screen, am I? That's funny. There we go. So yeah, I'm still a noob at this live stuff. Okay, so you guys are probably wondering what I was talking about all that time. This is it. This is the slide charge we were talking about. So that's what we're going to build. And in this smear, we're going to cut out this middle part and extend it to be our dash. All right, well, let's keep going. 35 by 27, 35 by 27, 36. And we want to, like we said, we're putting this in the same spot. So we can take one off this to be 35 by, we'll extend it to be 27. All right. And then we will continue because we need we're going to want this one too. I'm sure there's a way I could duplicate this faster to be, but we just need one more. And then the smear. And we'll, of course, set all these to bottom right. Or actually, let's, we want bottom center, I think. I think when I'm looking at it, I think actually I had that backwards because we still want to kind of, I mean, maybe we even want to make it custom and slide it over just a little bit, but we kind of want it to stay at the center mass. So, and I don't know if I need these slide ones. We could also programmatically do dirt if I wanted to spend a whole episode trying to get that to work with particle effects, but we'll just leave that in for now and we'll use it and we'll see if we can get it to work. And bottom center. Okay. So if we apply this, when we break out our Samurai sprite sheet, we will get a few more sprites here. They got some weird stuff going on, but what we're going to do is we're going to build these into animations for our samurai character, and I have two of them now. They're so they can fight each other. They should be prefab, so that one thing that I do, one applies to the other. That's just, they're not right now, but we're going to move past that. So I need to create a new clip, and that's going to be called sliding, I guess. I'm going to call it sliding for now. And create one more clip, which is charging. Okay. So let's the sliding ones, and we're gonna zoom in here. Everything I have is based on the 1 second scale in the animation. We can speed it up and slow it down based on you can speed up and slow it down based on animation speed, but I like to keep them all there. So this is going to be our sliding, and we just want to loop these ones. But I don't know how to do that. I'm sure there's a way. So let's figure that out. I mean, let's figure that out here. Bring a new window here, and we'll go. Oops. How to loop in animation Unity, because this is real. This is real. Sometimes I don't know everything, and we got to look it up. Here, let me bring this over here so we can look at it. And no, okay, animation loops, questions, answers. This is probably a pretty good place to start. Hey, can I do an animation loop time? Okay. No visible, easy way to change Eclipse wrap. Oh, we're in the editor. This is looking like maybe it's pretty complicated, and I might just want to kind of scoot around this a little bit. Because I know how to loop them in general. I want to like inner loop. I should. Okay, maybe it's not even possible. So this is pretty easy to fix. We'll just say like, I'm just going to put a bunch of these here, and we're not going to ever slide very long. So I'm going to keep dropping these in. And presumably like because we're stopping. I don't even know if this will play for 4 frames, let alone all of these. So, all right. And I don't have time to figure all that out. And we put it in the wrong one. So that was, so can we, what we're just going to do there is we're going to find our, I'm just going to rename it. Oh, shoot, I got actually slide 2, sliding. Oh, should I have 2 slidings now? Oh yeah, I bet one of them is from Death Ball. We'll leave both of them. I'll just make one. Okay. Oh, it's funny because I actually want to call this charging. And then slide 2, we'll just change charging. Sliding. Okay. Was that easier? Who knows? All right. Well, we got it. That's sliding. Here. We need charging. Charging is going to be back to our sprites. This like little blade quiver. And that's good. And all right. So, I mean, the states are in there. We need to activate them, or the animations are in there. We need to activate them in the animator. And so let's jump into the animator. This is what tells it what animations to be running on our character at any given time. So like walking, running. We do have charging in here. I built it already because I was thinking about this and sliding. Okay. So the reality is we get to those states from running. I'll put kind of running in this area here. We get to those states from running, and it's going to just be like this. We're going to make transition to here, and make transition to here, and then we're going to make transition to, I think we're going to go back to standing, honestly. No, we're going to go to, yeah, we need to go to like a dash recovery state. So I think I can just go create state empty. This will be, pose. I'm going to call it pose. I like that. I don't know why I can't rename it here, but pose. Okay, and we're going to make transition to pose, and then we're going to make a transition to stand. I think we can go somewhere else with it eventually, but and we can't go backwards ever in this. So that's it. I mean, we actually don't need to kind of go up this way because we're eventually going back to standing there. All right, and the nice thing is, let's kind of set our conditions here. First of all, I don't deal with exit time. I'm sure that's like really important. I just don't fully know how to build my animations for it yet. So I just always set it to this, and that gets me everything I need. So this is going to be essentially if we are, I mean, what we could do is like to just be generic is we could just be like if our velocity, that's our y velocity, sorry, we're gonna need our speed. If our speed x is ever less than like 0.1, and that's because like we can't really get to running otherwise. So if our, oh, well, we can go back. Yeah, this is gonna need to be, there's gonna need to be a separation of state here. This is gonna have to be strictly if we enter some kind of state. So I'm just gonna create, this is gonna be where you can see like we create new parameters. So like is sliding is actually already in there from, this is straight up taken from death ball. So that's convenient. I guess we will use that property then. But if you want to make a new one, you just plus here, and maybe we should just for the sake of showing. Is charging. And maybe we'll need sliding too. I'll leave that in there. But we'll say truthfully, is charging is when we're going to move into this sliding state, which is not, I mean, we're going to dash. In the animation, we're going to slide a little bit to a stopping charging position and then dash through a smear that will be created here and teleport into a pose position at the end and then go back into standing. So that's like, this sliding is not like we're engaging in a slide. We're just merely like got this like few frames of sliding we're gonna do. So and what we're gonna do is this is where I think it's important to have an exit time. And that's to say, oh, well, yeah. I'm thinking like, I'm sure there's a more efficient way to do this, like, but I think you can just go with the way that gets us to prototyping fastest. So let's just do this. Let's this transition will be once our speed gets to 0. Once our speed gets to is less than 0.1 because you can't go anywhere from here. So it's just a timing of when you get to 0.1. Our sliding will just run it. We don't want it to have an exit time. That's how we'll get away with not. And that'll give it the right timing. So then we're charging, and we're going to charge until so we're not charging anymore, I guess. Yeah, that's fine because we will shut is charging off, and we will teleport. We won't be visible during that because that's how I've been doing all of the attacks. Is the smears appear but you don't appear while your slashes appear to give them like a focus. Not sure we'll stick with that, but it's working right now. And again, no exit time. And set discharging pulse. And then pose, I guess. Pose until I'm gonna say pose until I'm gonna actually I don't know why I can't delete this. Oh, there we go. Okay, make transition to walking. Okay. Oh yeah, there was another one. Yeah, like this one. I didn't want this one to exist. There we go. Okay, so I finally figured out how to delete transitions. Command delete if you're watching. We go into the pose, then we're going to go into walking. So you're stuck in the pose until you walk again. I think that's fair. It's the simplest, and you will be stuck in pose. There will be a recovery time. We'll set that. So that's the animation cycle. Now we got to go in and actually program the state. So let's see. We are gonna jumper is the script that we've kind of been managing everything. It's getting wow, I don't know what happened there. It's getting rather large. We have our slice. These are the objects that we generate that are our hurt boxes. They also are the sprites for the smear. If I like double click into this to begin, oh yeah, we're in the sorry, we're going to the scene. You can see like, oh, that's the smash. Yeah, that's the big one. But if we go back, you can see like the draw. They're all hitboxes in and of themselves. Okay, so let's go into the code. We're in jumper. Jumper kind of runs through these states that I have an IEnumerator. It has a doesn't really have a running state. So presumably when we draw, we yield return here until the draw is over. The draw really just creates that slash, and then our character, this is what we talk about, disappears, it creates the flash, and it teleports us to a position, then it returns here, and then it goes back into standing. And movement can happen in standing, but it's all based on oh yeah, but we're holding the button down. That's kind of the difference. And so the point, what I'm trying to do is when you're holding the button, you're running. You're in that faster because you draw it on the tap and you hold it to run. You let go to jump, and your let go does like a slash, and you press it again to smash, and that feels right. One thing I want to do though, when you're in that holding running state, you're the joystick. If you pull back on it, I want it to like stop you, charge you, and you spring load it, and you let that go, or you let the button go, and you dash across the screen. So you're technically in a standing state when you get into this, but you have to have the to have the player down button. In that case, what we're going to do, we got a break. We got a break. Actually, there is a break. What I should do is I should set this to, I should also set a driver.break. Driver is the controller for like a horizontal locomotion, I guess. Break is the force that gets applied if you are holding in the opposite direction of your momentum, the joystick, which is what we're talking about, right? At some point, though, it'll flip. Break just slows you to 0. It's supposed to give you, you can get nice little slides with it if you get it in, which is kind of what we want here. But also, yeah, I guess we want to set it here, and we do want to break here. I kind of just want to apply the break. That's something that driver can't do, but would be interesting if I could just apply the break to it. Is that something that's reasonable? This is not the driver. Here we go. Okay, awake is grounded, fixed update. This is the private function that is used to break, which is there's several times that we actually do break the speed when we're neutraling and when we're limiting the speed. Okay, so let's simplify it. Maybe I don't even. I actually simply think that what I can do is when you pull the other direction, okay, yeah, let's just we gotta build something. So when we pull to the other direction inside of our stand, when we are holding the button and our horizontal input horizontal does not equal math f dot sign our current bulb. We are going to go into an entirely different state, and we're not going to be standing anymore. We are going to be doing something else. So that is reasonable, I think. I mean, it'll if it works, it works. If it doesn't, we'll fix it. So it's feels a little flimsy, but if we're holding the down button and our horizontal input, which is already determined up there, does not equal our body velocity, so we are braking. Now I want to go into the charge state, so we're just going to yield return charge, and that's how we open new states, is we just yield return them, and then they can open new states, and they kind of bubble out and then bubble back in. That's kind of how I kind of think of my action states, these things that I work with. Charge, and we're going to give it a horizontal because I know we're going to need it. We've needed it for about everything else. Let's just put it right here. I enumerator. We're making a new state. I call them. We're just going to use the I enumerator. It's going to be called the charge state. Get the float horizontal. I don't know where that came from. And we're going to say. We don't need to instantiate a game object here, but what we're going to do is we're going to set our driver, which is our current driver dot drive, to equal 0. Like you can't go anymore. I just need to stop it, really. I just need to stop the inputs from mattering at this point. Yeah. So I used to have something built into the driver for that, but let's see here. Let's see what we got on it. Fixed update. So I guess like at some point I'm going to want to take over the driver. So let's just do that. Let's just build the ability to do that. Void take over. This is going to be buggy, but I'm just need to build something. So void takeover and void call it return. That's let's say get wheel. Give wheel. Okay, I don't know if that's good, but all we're gonna do essentially is actually, yeah. Why are we doing all this? Over engineering 101. What is this just gonna do? It's just gonna set up humble. He is driving. Is the driver driving? I'm gonna go to our jumper. We'll just go driver. You're not driving anymore. I am. And that's not going to do anything. It's funny. Like now we're just yelling at the driver, and they're not going to listen. But I guess, yeah, we will just skip. We'll skip everything directionally. And I don't want to set it all on a new layer, so just if we're not driving, just return. It's the fixed update. We're not in a state here like we are on the other one, so we can just return and it will get called again automatically by the engine. But yeah, we're not going to do any of this stuff if we're not driving. So, all right. So the first time I'm taking over this new driver, so that's been interesting. Now we're going to go into our, what are we going to, how long is this day going to run for? Well, while we're buttoned down, I guess, right? Or while we're both buttoned down and joystick opposite of the horizontal. And I guess what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to say like, I'm just going to set a var like initial horizontal, sure. Because we're going to keep querying that, and we're going to say like if input controller instance player down, no player jump. So while we are holding the button, so if we let go, we're done. And while we are, and we can simplify it, is holding. And so it is holding. And the other one is retreating, I want to say, because this is all about the input controller direction. It's going to be player horizontal player index does not equal initial horizontal. And this, we got to sign this because this will be a float of any magnitude, and we want it. We're gonna. You got me. We're gonna want to compare it to our horizontal, which is already assigned. So is retreating. Yeah, we want to keep retreating. Retreating was pulling back from our run, so that's why I'm calling it is retreating. And there is another one we're gonna want to build, but for the sake of testing, we got to see if we built this. We're almost out of time today. So is holding and is retreating. Hey, we got a viewer. Hello, viewer. Sorry, I'm just looking at my screen because I have a setup. We're building a samurai fighting game. It's going to be broken now, but this is what it looks like. Okay, well, while that compiles. Yeah, it will not run. I'm probably missing semicolons all over the place. All right, so while is holding and is retreating, we are going to break to is an actual function that we can use. I'm just gonna make it public. We're gonna break to 0 manually. Well, we gotta call the driver, I guess. I'm gonna just close all these other things in between. Don't need that open. We don't need that open. Probably don't need that open. Oh boy. Driver.break to, we want to break to 0, obviously, but I can't remember exactly what the clamp float. We'll just do it. The thing is, like, I don't want the joystick to matter, or I want to control whether the joystick matters to the braking. So I've taken over driving from the driver, and when we're done, I want to return it. This is not great because if there should be a better system for this, because if 2 people do this, there'll definitely be a race condition here. But this is what we're doing. Let's just see if let's get it to run. Let's get it to run for our 4 viewers. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and drop them. I'm happy to answer them. We're going to go through and fix a bunch of semicolons. I'm sure. I'm terrible at semicolons, so I write in too many languages. Okay, 148, 162, 164, 165. And 148. Let's start there, I guess. Isn't it? Oh, yep. There goes our followers. Debugging is never fun to watch, but it is a huge part of programming. So, 63 and 65. Compiling takes forever. The thing is, when we're done here, we're actually going to want to. We're not even going to want to return the driver, this is going to be bad to pass that responsibility over a different state, but I guess when we come back, yeah, we can return it. But we're going to want to yield return something else here, another state, which is going to be dash and horizontal. Of course, we're going to have to pass it a new horizontal, I think, but we'll get there. We compiled, so let's see what we got here. Input controller does not have player down, and yeah, I think that makes sense. And charge auto code pass return a value. So right, yeah, we actually forgot to the way these states work is they generally have a what I call a breath. And the breath can be on fixed update if they're doing things like this is going to be looking for input, and input happens on the regular render frame. So we're going to want to return. We're going to yield return null, and if you're running a coroutine inside of Unity and you return null, it will run it on the next update. So that's how these work. That's how they get run on the next update. And that's kind of nice because they usually read a lot better this way. And then you just know that you're like, oh, next update, we get to come back and keep going from here. So hopefully that fixes that bug. Yeah, here we're going to want to yield return our dash state. I mean, it makes me feel like we should just grab this every frame. This is actually a problem. We are not grabbing this every frame. This has to be checked in here. Tricky. Same with this. Because otherwise we're just checking the same value. There are some tricky things to this way of doing state management. Or we can, if you prefer, you can just redo them. All right. Or I guess we'll just be super efficient about it, and we'll go to just make it a do while. That's not gonna work. Let's not get fancy. All right. Well, this compiled. So next player. We actually don't want jump down or player down. We want player jump. We want if the jump is being held right now, not if it's pressed down in this frame. And okay, finally compiled. Uh-oh. Please don't stall on the Unity. Okay, well, that's thinking. I'm going to start making the oh, let's save automatic. What the heck? actually is wrong too. I do just want the horizontal, because it's always going to be the same direction. But let's see, of course, 180. Same. It takes forever to compile when I'm streaming, I guess. We are just chugging along. Okay. Okay, I accidentally clicked the wrong button there. Okay, we're finally able to show off, like, whoa, what we're looking at here. Oh, no, I wish. We have an error here. We get out of the maximize view. Look at our error. No object reference not set. Oh, that's not an error. Well, it's interesting. I'm not sure why we're not getting control of this character now. Oh, you know what it is? It's that new variable that I set on our driver is driving. If you'll recall, I have it here, and it is defaulted to nothing. So we're going to say true. We are driving right away. That might help us actually drive. And then we have to wait for this compile. I might have to restart Unity because it feels like it's starting to really chug, and at this point there's not really a reason not to restart it because it's so. We'll see if it comes back here. I'll shut it off. I'm just trying to save the scene. Save. Kill it. Okay. If you guys are watching, you're extremely patient. This is real programming. Sometimes you get into these cycles of just trying to get through the technical part of it, getting all the technical bolts to work. Okay, I'm getting yelled at about YAML. Weird. All right. Now it should work. Hopefully it's faster. Okay, we're not getting any movement again, and I think it's if we maximize, we look at these characters. The driver is driving false. Okay. So yeah, okay, so interesting. So see, it let me turn back around. Something's happening for sure, but okay, well, let's get into the debugging. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to determine if we're getting into this state, and we have a couple debugs in here already that we should get rid of. So the jumper here. What are these? Jumper trigger false, like that one. Okay, there we go. Now inside the jumper, we can actually be able to see if this is happening. I like to write in all caps because it's easier to find the debug logs later if you have a weird debug log coming up. All right, of course, we forgot the semicolon. Wouldn't be a compile cycle without it. This is excruciatingly slow. There's got to be something that I can do to make this build faster. Just quit Discord, see if that helps at all. Any resources at all? Okay, so okay, and of course they're not driving by default for some reason, even though I'm pretty sure we've set that now. Okay, so there it is, getting into the state. Getting into it a lot, actually. Doesn't seem to be holding itself at all, and I guess that makes sense because it only goes till it stops, and then it probably repeats a bunch. So let's go into dash and let's wait. We want to actually charge. Like while we're holding, we want to build up a charge timer. So why do you keep doing that to me? All right. So we'll add the charge timer. We'll add the delta. This is the amount of time that's passed each fixed delta frame, and we'll add that to it. So I guess we want to know when we exit. Let's check when we're exiting this as well, because it seems like we're having $168. Of course it is. All right. See if we can get one more build out before I have to run here. Nope. Float to int. So close. So presumably it shouldn't stop as long as we keep holding in the direction that is if the initial horizontal, I don't know why. We never reset horizontal, so I don't know why I did that. That's kind of weird. You just call it horizontal. If horizontal equals whatever the current horizontal is. I want to do that again. I guess this is probably the problem. We want them to be the same, I think. So horizontal is the direction of the input, which is the opposite direction we are going. So we want to keep retreating. And see if this works, then I got to run. But yeah, we didn't get to much exciting stuff today, but this has been a real day. Okay, I will not continue to do this every time. All right. There we go. Okay, so that was right. I mean, you guys can't hear it, but here is I'm holding it. If I let off of either of the buttons. Oh yeah, or if I change the joystick direction or let off of the jump button, it will exit charging. So I still have to work on getting the animator to go into the right states. I still have to work on because we're not even setting like. All we'd have to do is when we're in here charging, which set is charging. So there's I don't think I need to do this. Under .set bool is charging true. The thing is, like, eventually, if I ever want to wrap the character so it goes on one side and comes around, I'll have a bunch of renderers attached to this, and I've always just done this as like a way to be like, I want to put all the renderers in the same state, and we'll see if that comes back to bite me ever. But I guess I don't want to be charging after we, yeah, after we go into the dashing state. So I guess once we're out of holding, I'm not charging anymore. Okay, let's try that. Yeah, maybe we'll get lucky and we'll see a glimpse of something, because that should do it. Of course, I'll give you 0 guesses what the errors are. So now we have to go look that up. Oh, duh. I've made a mistake here. I don't know why I was doing the renders. I don't actually need the render. I need the animator. I guess I do it for all the animators too. Seems weird, because I probably only need one animator. But let's see if we can make some magic happen. So the animator I want to set the bool on is... Aha! I remembered. Who's proud of me? Alright, let's see if that worked. Wow. I mean, usually when it's compiling that long, you know that it's actually compiling everything. All right, let's see what we got, if we got anything here. Weird. Yeah, we're not getting it, huh? So, not sure why it's not going into the slider state. Well, we can do a real quick investigation, but otherwise I really got to go. So, grab Zeb here. Okay. See, it's not getting into the sliding state, and the sliding state is supposed to be, I guess hold on, I'm not on the right. Yeah, that should all have been into the sliding state. We get there via speed x being less than, no, wasn't this supposed to be is charging? It's true. How do we get here? Is charging, is true. Oh, hey, that was right. It's is it the wrong way? Yeah, I think it's the wrong way. How do we fix that? How do we fix that? Well, how is it the wrong way? Is it the wrong way? Yeah, well, there's some other things wrong with it too, but we kind of got there. I don't know if this is going to be, if that's going to feel great, but we will test it out next time. Thanks, everybody, for watching. I got to get rolling here. And see you next time.